Welcome everyone back to the channel, Flat Tire Dan. As you can see, we are home from our big trip. Obviously, we had a blast, and I want to take a minute just to thank everyone who kind of came along with us, right? Who viewed the episodes that we were releasing throughout the course of the trip, because I mean, we had such a good time, and it's just super cool that people were kind of watching along as we went. So thank you for watching if you did. And if I could make a recommendation, so I know a lot of my viewers and subscribers maybe kind of focus on like the side-by-side stuff and the jet ski stuff, like more of the like adrenaline end of the channel, and don't always watch some of the other stuff that we do. And I get it, and we're grateful that you're watching that stuff. But I got a lot of feedback pretty quickly on that last episode where Triton and I went hiking, on just the part, like the video and picture footage of where we were, right? The waterfalls and the rapids and the hiking trails and all that kind of stuff. And trust me, it has nothing to do with my photography skills. But I got a lot of like positive feedback from people, like that was really beautiful part of the country. And so, like I said, if I could make a recommendation, and you can just fast forward through like the introduction, how we got there, where we were if you want. Go back and take a look at that footage, because I've gone back a couple times and looked at it now, and it really is a beautiful spot of the country, and I really do think you'll enjoy it if you take a minute to watch it. So that all being said, like I said, we're home, and right before we left, I posted a couple pictures on Instagram, flat_tire_Dan, if you want to follow us there, of our new travel trailer toy hauler, right, that we had purchased like maybe a week and a half before we were leaving for our trip. And that was going to be it. We were going to hit the road, and then when I got back, I was going to kind of introduce this, to you guys here. But I got immediate questions. What's that? Where'd that come from? And so I felt like I needed to give the viewers a little bit of something before we left. And so I did like a quick 5-10 minute episode, on what it was, and how it showed up and all that kind of stuff. But I promised in that episode that when we got home, that I would certainly do something much more detailed, much more thorough, what we call a deep dive here on the channel. And so we're home, and I thought today would be a good day to get into that. Now, a couple things. It's going to be pretty detailed. And so for those of you who are like avid RVers or campers and are familiar with this type of stuff, some of it might seem like simple or redundant. But, I'm assuming that there's some people out there too that might just be interested in getting into this. And so I want to give them as much information as I can on, what to expect, what they might be getting into, that kind of thing. And then the second thing is that I'm probably going to refer to my old camper a few times in this episode. Now, the reason I'm going to do that, first of all, my old camper was a Forest River also, right? But it was their Rogue series, travel trailer toy hauler, but like maybe like 3 sizes bigger, right? And so I'm going to refer to that in some spots just to kind of give people reference that, just because you go smaller doesn't mean you get less or more, right? And just how sort of that model compares to this model. That one was a 2020 model as well. So I think it's just a good sort of baseline of comparison. And then if you are interested in knowing more about what our old camper was, I do have some photos of it, and I can give you some details. So you can just, hit me up in the comments or hit us up on Instagram, and I can give you some more detail about, exactly what we used to have, and then you can maybe compare that to what we have now. So let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start in the back of the camper again like we did last time. Today I have the ramp door set up in the patio form. All right, so it can hang from these cables. It's got this little enclosure on the outside. It's got a screened enclosure door that you can hang it from the inside. I just don't have it up right now. And you can use this as an outdoor patio. I've seen people use it if they want to put their dogs out, whatever it may be. But it's really is a nice usable space. This door is rated for 1,500 pounds in this configuration, hanging from the cables, so you can have 4 or 5 or 6 good-sized adults out there. And then down on the ground when you're driving something in or out of the camper is rated for 3,000 pounds. So super heavy duty door, full height door too, which is nice because this camper isn't the tallest. And so you want to have the maximum height you can, not only inside the camper for maybe a side-by-side or whatever, but the actual access door is pretty much the same height as the inside of the camper. I know people that don't need a toy hauler. Maybe they're hauling bicycles or kayaks or something, but they'll buy toy haulers because they like this patio area so much. So I figured I'd set it up that way for you to see. This side of the camper is the utility area. We kind of been through all this, but I'll take a quick walk through again. Got a little vent back here that pops open. There's one on the other side, so if you're hauling something that's got a gas tank, keep the gas fumes down on the inside. Now I ran 30 amp shore power on my property to where I keep the camper, because now sitting here, with the exception of sewage, it's entirely usable, which is nice. I mean, I've had guests come and stay, and they can use everything but the toilet. So, they come out here, they can stay, they can actually use the running water. It's just soapy water that rinses into the gravel. And they come inside if they have to use a bathroom. So it's almost like a spare bedroom or spare multiple bedrooms on my property. And so I like having the ability to use everything while I've got it sitting at home. Retractable power cord. All right, so it's nice. You don't ever forget your cord at the campground. I've got a surge suppressor here too, just to be safe. This is your hot water heater, 6 gallons. Probably lasts for about a 10-minute shower, but does recirculate and get hot again pretty quick. Here's all your water connections. You got a fresh water tank if you're boondocking or dry camping, where you can take water with you. And it's nice, they place these tanks strategically on these toy haulers in front of the axles. There's the drain for it right there. So if you are hauling something and you have weight in the camper behind the axles, it will cause the camper to sway, right? So they suggest, even if you're going somewhere where you have a water source, that you fill this tank up before you go to distribute weight evenly over these axles. So there's some thought into the actual placement of the water tank on this toy hauler here. Then you've got your sort of city water connection, where you connect to a garden hose at a campground. Now, this is the setup I have. I have a little 90-degree fitting to kind of take the stress off of that fitting. This water filter lasts about a year. I get them on Amazon, they're cheap. And then I have a pressure regulator, which I strongly suggest. Most of your campgrounds have crazy water pressure because they never know if it's going to be 10 people or 100 people there. And so you want to reduce the pressure before it comes into your camper, or you'll start blowing apart fittings and stuff under the sink. That is intake and exhaust for the furnace, the heater. Caution, it gets hot. Air intake and exhaust for the dual fuel refrigerator, which I'll show you inside. You've got your sewage tanks under here. Here's the discharge for them. Gray is for all things water except the toilet. Black is for the toilet water, pretty self-explanatory. And then they do give you a flush port for the black tank because you get solids in there. And so after you've emptied the black tank, they suggest you hook a garden hose to this for 3 or 4 minutes and just let clean water run through it. So that's a nice option. Keeps it from getting stinky. Full pass-through storage here from this side all the way to the other side. This side I keep like camping essentials, like utility stuff, like garden hoses and the sewer hose and all like sort of my setup and breakdown stuff, because I don't really need access to it once I get set up. So I've got the stabilizers up. These are the stabilizers I pointed out in the last episode because I wanted to show you this camper connected to my truck without it resting on the stabilizers. Because I wanted to point out a really important part that isn't necessarily part of the camper that I suggest everybody get if you're going to tow a travel trailer of any sort. This is referred to as a weight distribution anti-sway hitch, all right? Not the cheapest thing in the world, but I think it's worth every penny. So what does it do? Well, I don't know how it does it, but the weight distribution part, according to the technology, it distributes the weight from the rearmost point of your truck, hanging on that hitch there, somehow distributes the tongue weight of the camper over the axles of your truck. So if you step back, 150 series truck, 5,000 pound camper, and you can see the truck sitting almost perfectly level. And it doesn't do that without the weight distribution hitch. So important, level is good when towing. It also has these like bars that connect to the frame or the tongue of the camper, right? And what they do, and it's adjustable through here, is they help you to keep this trailer from swaying. So what would make a trailer sway? High winds, high speed, and again, in a toy hauler, if you're loading cargo and any of it is behind these axles, which some of it's going to be, especially with the side-by-side, the trailer has a tendency to sway, especially at high speeds. And so you want to eliminate that because it's unsafe. And this weight distribution anti-sway hitch does that for you. So again, I think it's a critical part of any type of travel trailer towing. Marine battery back here. They do sell a bracket if you wanted 2 batteries and more power storage. 2 20-pound propane tanks under this cover. It's got like an automatic transfer switch, so you have them both turned on. It's only using one. If one runs out, it automatically transfers to the other, and this little red light goes on, so you know that you have to fill one back up. They last a long time. I mean, I've had been camping all weekend long with the heater on, and I haven't used an entire tank, so they really work good. Power tongue lift, where it lifts and lowers the camper. Without me having to crank it by hand, although it does have a manual override in case you do lose power for any reason. That's nice. This one's got this cool little light on it, so if I'm setting up or breaking down at night. So that's kind of neat. So yeah, again, the truck's sitting perfectly, which is really important. I mean, I'll go through the numbers again real quick. 8,000 pound GVW on the camper. That means that legally it can't weigh over 8,000 pounds. Camper empty, 5,000 pounds. I did the math with my side-by-side. full tank of gas, full tank of water, and all my camping stuff, I'm about 7,400 pounds. So I'm good there. 150 series truck, now it's got a tow package, rated to tow 11,400 pounds. So right now I've got 4,000 pound or 2-ton cushion between what the maximum I'm supposed to tow and the maximum that my mass says this camper will ever be. So I feel comfortable with that. Camping side of the pass-through storage, again, fans, grills, all the stuff that I'm gonna kind of use day in, day out. I've got the awning out today, which I think is really nice. I love these awnings. Power in, power out, but it does have a manual override again in case you lose power. And you got to be careful in the wind. You know, it's a big sail. I mean, it's no real science to it. If it gets windy, you just roll it back in. You know, you just have to be careful with them. But they're really nice. I leave them set up at night. I just think they look cool. And this one here, so this one, smaller camper, full LED light system, which my old camper didn't. It's got that light strip above the door. Now it's nice because it's not too bright. Like when you're out here at night, and I've had it set up at night, it's not like glaringly bright. It's just enough to kind of light up this area, which is where I spend most of my time. I mean, I have an outdoor carpet, and I've got a table, and I've got camping chairs and all that kind of stuff. So I got this big giant camper, and mostly what I do is sleep and take a shower in it. But this is sort of the area I hang out in most. So I really do like the awning. Again, big windows on this side. I'll show you them from the inside. Outdoor speakers, they're nice. They're marine grade. They can get wet. They sound decent enough. They got cool lights in them. They do the job. For me, and I don't know if this is accurate at all, but I always look at the quality of the steps, and that sort of relates to me the quality of the camper. And I don't know that to be accurate, but it's been my experience, right? So good heavy duty steps with legs that project to the ground, that are adjustable, that it's not just hanging off the side of the camper, always tells me that there went some thought into this camper on how well it's built. And these are great steps. Love them. All right. Screen door detaches from the man door, which is nice. All right. So you can have it closed during the day if you know, like a day like today where it's nice out, or if you want to close it up when you have the heat or the air conditioner on, it just attaches to the man door. Nice handle getting in and out here. All right, so you've seen this area before. 6-person adult dinette. Folds down into a king-size bed. Now, I will show you that in that configuration at the end of the episode. I'll take a picture of that. And also folds up out of the way to haul your toys. I will show you that as well. But super useful. It'll seat 6 adults, you know, or just 2 of you laying down watching TV, whatever. But this is sort of the general hangout seating area of this camper. D-rings everywhere, all over the floor. All right, and most of them are covered up by carpets and chairs right now, but they're everywhere. Like, they really gave a lot of thought to the ability to fasten down whatever it is you're hauling. Some overhead storage in here in the back with these nets. I think it's like, you know, kind of meant for like helmets and boots and stuff like that. That's that magnetic screen attachment that goes here that I told you. So I kind of store it up there out of the way. Pretty useful. But I keep other stuff in there. Like, I'll put my helmets and boots and stuff back there, but I've got my Keurig, some taller stuff that I don't want to use up cabinet space for. Back here. Now, smaller kitchen again, not a ton of storage, but again, I'm not going camping to cook dinner inside. Like, I'm usually outside with the grill and everything, but it seems ample. They do give you, you know, a nice cabinet above, and they put a shelf in it, so it's actually 2 cabinets, you know. Plenty of, I think that's everything I'm going to be taking with me. I got most of my stuff moved into this camper, and I don't see me needing much more than that. I'm using paper plates and paper bowls and stuff most of the time when I'm camping anyway. Farmhouse sink, you've seen that. This is a nice little drying mat that kind of rolls up out of the way if you don't need it, right? Some storage under the sink, you know, for cleaners. I have an extra fire extinguisher in there, trash bags, whatever. Electronic brains of the camper here. All right, so half this camper runs on 12 volt, stuff you can use in transit or when you're not connected to shore power. The lighting, the awning, the power jack, the USB outlets in here if you want to charge stuff while you're traveling. And they all run on conventional, like, auto fuses, right? So I always keep extra ones of those. And then the 120 volt stuff, heater, air conditioner, outlets, microwave, all that kind of stuff, that all runs on the circuit breakers here. So if you have an electronic problem, more than likely it's in here, which is nice. It's all in one spot. And then one thing I keep in all my campers is a voltage regulator. You can see I'm exactly at 120 volts plugged in at home. Not only high voltage, but low voltage can damage your electronics. And when you're at a campground and there's 100 different campers there pulling off the same power source, sometimes the voltage gets low. And it's just good an idea to keep an eye on it. When you get too low voltage, you just start turning stuff off until that gets back up maybe above 115. Yeah, residential-ish microwave. All right, small, but Same as your in-house microwave. It's got a clock and a timer and all kinds of different settings and stuff. Usable enough. Range hood with a light and then a fan. All right, and the fan circulates outside, which is nice. Gas cooktop and oven. So I have this set up in this condition here. So it comes with this backsplash, which is nice when you're cooking bacon or whatever it is like that. You're not splashing grease everywhere. But this folds down, right? It's a glass cover and it folds down, so you can use it to prepare food and stuff like that. But they say it in all the in different videos. I'm going to say it here: do not cook on this glass top. It's not made for that. It's made to be folded up when you cook like this as a backsplash. All right, and then, you know, cool, more like blue camper light stuff, which I always find neat. And then a little oven. You know, you can make a pizza or some cookies or something in there. Nice big drawer underneath too for like pots and pans and utensils and stuff. Dual fuel refrigerator, runs on propane and electric. All right, so propane when you're in transit, when you're not connected to shore power, and then a combination of propane and electric when you are connected to shore power. What's nice is never really need to take a cooler camping. I mean, I'll take a small one for day trips, but I put a, I start this refrigerator up maybe a day or so before I leave, right? And then it's cold and I put everything in it. The door's locked shut, all right? So it's not going to come over open in transit. And so everything that I need to be refrigerated while I'm camping, I put in the camper before we leave. This is your entertainment center kind of spot over here. This camper came with a couple TVs. They normally don't, but the previous owner put them in, and I guess he didn't want them, so I'll take them. You know, nice little storage area for remotes and keys. Here's a switch for the microwave or the fireplace, which I'll get to. They don't want you using both at the same time because they pull a lot of power. There's your electric fireplace. Doesn't create a ton of heat. Nice ambiance. Looks cool. Does create a little heat, so it does take a nip out of the air. Kind of help the furnace a little bit, or maybe on like a fall day you won't need the furnace. You just turn that on. Here's sort of the brain center inside the camper where you can monitor all your stuff. So you've got some switches. This is the water pump for the water storage tank if you're not connected to city water. This is for the hot water heater when you're certain that you've got water and the hot water heater is full of water. You've got your inside light switch. Now you have all LED lighting throughout this camper, all right? But it's all individually controllable. So I can turn this light on when I want it. I can turn this light off when I don't. And there's 6 lights in here. So maybe I only want 2 of them on late in the evening. I'm watching a movie. Or if I want all the lighting in the world, I can turn all 6 on. And they're all controllable by this light switch. This light switch is for the outside lighting, basically the LED lighting. Again, like all in one spot. Easy to find. This is the power awning in and out. And then it's got these gauges here, these electronic gauges to kind of tell you where all your levels are. So I have battery, that's full. Fresh water tank, empty. Black water tank, empty. Gray water tank, empty. So I don't have to go outside to check anything. Everything's right here. If I'm concerned about anything, I just come over here and push these buttons. It tells me where I stand with everything. Audio system, obviously Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to it, play your own music. Not only outside, but I've got 2 pretty cool, sound great speakers inside as well. But it's also a radio. So you can just like tune in a local radio station and not think about or connect your phone to or whatever and just listen to the radio inside and outside the camper. And you can turn the speakers off or on inside or outside depending on what you want to do. Thermostat, pretty simple. Heating and air conditioning, real simple, which I like. So here's that walk-through bathroom I mentioned in the last episode. Again, like maybe not the most convenient. You know, if you're in the bedroom, someone's in the bathroom, you're kind of stuck in the bedroom, right? But because it's a smaller camper, they're trying to make the space efficient and they want to give you as big a bathroom as they can. And that I appreciate. Now, I mentioned there's not a ton of cabinet space in the kitchen. There's a ton of cabinet space in the bathroom, all right? This medicine cabinet's huge, all right? Decent little vanity, good enough to brush my teeth, whatever. Ton of storage underneath, right? And then over here in the toilet area, obviously you got the toilet. You got this huge cabinet behind it, right? I mean, it's massive inside, right? Towels and whatever you want, toilet paper and tissues and stuff. And then what's nice is you can put 2 people in this bathroom. So say one person's at the sink and they're using this mirror and you want to come in and use a mirror, but they're in front of this mirror. They put mirrors on these cabinet doors. Like, that's pretty smart, right? It makes efficient use of this rather large bathroom for a small camper. All right. Coming into the bedroom, again, LED lighting, all right, all individually controllable, which is nice. So you can just have one light on if you're doing some reading or all the lights on if you're getting ready or whatever it is. Big wardrobes on both sides. Again, mirror doors, smart. So hanging wardrobe, big cabinet above for like extra comforters and blankets. Same thing over there. Another free TV in the bedroom, which I don't know how much I use, but it's nice to have. You know, decent sized bed. Now the mattresses in campers always are the worst, right? But what I do is I just buy a memory foam topper, put it on top. They work just fine. I mean, it's not my bed in my bedroom at home, but it works for a couple days, and you don't get into the expense of buying a whole new mattress, you know, some pillows and blankets and stuff. What's nice about here, it's not easy to do one-handed. So this is access to all the underbelly storage, which is nice. You can take stuff in and out from here if you want. And you can access it all. And then they give you these cool little storage totes, right? Which you can't really see unless you lift the bed up. And they're great for like socks and shoes and laundry and all that kind of stuff. And what's nice is they're removable. So you can kind of take them inside, load them up, bring them outside, put them in the camper before you leave. So you're not packing and unpacking suitcases and duffel bags to go camping. Again, pretty efficient. All right. Outlets and USB on both sides of the bed, here and here. USBs work on 12 volts, so you can charge stuff in transit, but the outlets do not, so you have to wait till you get wherever you're going to plug in the shore power. It's one of those blackout shades I mentioned to you earlier. It's not entirely blackout, keeps most of the light out, and you certainly can't see it from the outside, but it's on every window in here, and there's a lot of windows in this camper, hence a lot of windows in this camper. All right, I usually do stuff like hooks over the doors just to add more storage to the limited space that I'm given. 13,000 BTU air conditioner system. I've had it turned on when it was 95 degrees outside, and within 20 minutes it was perfectly comfortable in here. So I think it's more than enough BTUs for this space. And again, I keep going on, but the windows in this thing are awesome. All right, they're just massive, and you can they kind of look out to the whole camping side of the camper. So we'll head back outside. I think I covered everything in here. There's a lot to them. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but gave it a bath, gave it a coat of wax. I love the graphics. I love the colors. I love the awning. And I think it's certainly going to suit my needs. You know, I would say half the time I won't be hauling toys. I'll just be going camping, and I'll use that big patio in the back, and I'll have a good time camping. But if I do want to haul my stuff, I have the ability to do it, and I can do it with a half-ton truck. So worked perfect for me, and I'm really fortunate to have found it. So there you have it, our deep dive into our 2020 Forest River Wildwood FSX 260 travel trailer toy hauler. Hopefully that answered any questions you might have about it. And if you have any other questions, please, feel free to hit me up in the comments or follow us on Instagram, flat_tire_Dan. As always, I want to thank everyone who's been viewing our episodes, who came on our trip with us, and viewed those episodes. I think this morning we surpassed 35,000 total views for all of our episodes combined, which I know in the world of YouTube that's nothing, but for us it's a lot, and we really do appreciate it. We're grateful that everybody's watching. If you do watch our stuff and you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, please do. It just helps us reach more viewers. But again, we're grateful you're watching, and please keep watching. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And as always, stay tuned. Oh, wait, one more thing. Yep, that's coming too, soon. So stay tuned. When we get that entirely put together, I'll let you know what we're going to do with it. So as always, stay tuned for more content from Flat Tire Dan. We'll see you.